golfers, welcome back to JD Golf TV, your home for playing better, faster. Today's lesson is on how to properly set your wrist in the golf swing. If you get this wrong, you may throw your club face into a out of whack position, wide open or super closed, and not be able to recover from it on the downswing. So let's learn how to do it right. We'll get after it right now. Wrist action. Bending it this way is called extension, and bending it this way is called flexion. And guess what, folks? If you're going to call them bowed, arched, whatever I don't know, call it bent, arched, whatever. If you're going to have a name for them, let's call them the correct names. I think that's fair. So, bent backward, that is extended. Bent downward, this curve. Dustin Johnson at the top, flexed. Fair enough? Now, those wrist motions alter the club face. We will go like this right here. You can see this plain as day. If I flex the wrist, the face closes. If I extend the wrist, the face opens. Absolute. Now, what's that have to do with that wrist setting motion? Well, here we go. If I take my trusty chopstick out, put it in the back of my glove, when we properly set the wrist, this wrist will not, or this chopstick will not rub against my arm. I hope you can see that from this view. It's just gliding across, but it won't dig in. Now, if I flex, it'll come away from me. And if I extend, now I can't move it. There you go. That would be wrist set that's not in the motion we want to do. We want our wrist set to just set up and down. This is ulnar deviation down, radial up. That one, okay, fine. Wrist set and release. We'll call it that, that's fine. Get that a little straightened out. Here's what happens. When people go to set their wrist on the backswing, they often roll the face open and bend the wrist up in extension, and the club face gets completely out of whack into an unplayable condition. And at this point, folks, you're not going to be able to find out whether you can play golf well or not. I ain't having that. So we got to get rid of that motion. But going back and flexing it too much this way, with the club face super down, could cause real problems. If I was going to have an error one way or another, probably you'd have a little bit more flexion in the wrist. But I digress. Let's get to how this is done. Your glove hand pushes the butt of the club down. Pushing down. I push the butt down while my other hand, the non-glove hand, the right hand in my case, is picking the club shaft up. These two opposing motions, downward push of the left, upward pull of the right, create the wrist set. Watch how beautiful. So I go back, I get my little trusty training aid. Oh, you know what? It was free with this week's Asian food meal. I'm gonna set my wrist up, pushing down on the left. Hey, wait a second. What happened to my left arm? It actually straightened out a little bit as I pushed down. And my right hand picks up. That's wrist setting motion. It's that simple. And if you notice, as I do this motion, the club face angle isn't changing. I'm going to get this out so it doesn't scrape me. If I set the wrist improperly and overly extend the lead wrist, oh my goodness, look at that club face angle change. That's a damn disaster, folks, just so you know. And if I flex the wrist, the club face goes down. I'd rather play from there. Early square is a better way to go than wide open and try to save it coming down. And I see this a lot. You better get in a sand shot, folks. Okay, we're back. We've got push and we've got pull. I'm applying work to the club. I start the backswing and I'm pushing down with the left already and picking up with the right, and that creates wrist set. And I want you to actually monitor this, maybe even use the chopstick and make sure that you don't do something crazy with that wrist. See, that wrist just stayed nice and beautifully flat. We're gonna call that square just for fun. We'll take this off. Don't put it in the way of your golf swing though, folks. Yeah, that thing. Okay. You might even see a tour player or two do this kind of waggle, if you will, early in the swing. Okay. Push down, pull up, and let's keep going. Push down, pull up, push, pull, without doing something funky. Keep that wrist very much straight, up and down. That's set, release. People think this is setting the wrist. People think that when they bend it and when they bend the wrist up, wrist set, and extend the wrist, that feels like a lot of wrist set, but that opens the face massively. It is push, pull, it's nice and flat. Push and pull, keep going. When you do this, you don't have to keep your left arm dead straight at the top of the backswing. That's a bunch of crap, folks. That's just not true. But it'd be nice to get a good wrist setting motion. When you try to overdo it, you're gonna do something weird with the club face, so please don't. I want you to just practice this motion, up and down. It's actually very small motion. It's only about 30 to 40 degrees, okay? And it is down, up. And you can see my wrist is not changing as far as whether it's increasing the extension or the flexion. It's just staying right there and I'm just picking it up and down. Called radial and ulnar deviation. Okay, now, here we go. What are we doing again? Okay, we're gonna go back. We're gonna set up, start by pushing and pulling. And by the way, just so you know, it's fine to set or begin setting your wrist right away in the backswing. There's nothing wrong with that at all, as long as it gets set. But there's also nothing wrong with doing a little Jack Nicklaus or Greg Norman and setting it late, as long as they get set in sort of, if you will, a harmonious fashion. We're going to go here. We're doing a little bit late this time. You can see I set it at the end. Is that bad? No, as long as it gets set, so I can stay rhythmic with my golf swing, we'll be just fine. Okay, last one. Oh, I'm gonna have to do it. Here we go. Do you see that? Now I'm going into flexion. Now I'll tell you what, if you're going to flex the wrist, it's going to shut the face. However, you've got some world-class golfers playing like this, but those folks rotate real fast. If you're going to have a really flexed wrist and a closed club face, you better be able to, what I call, outrace that face. If you move kind of slowly, don't turn them up because we're getting older, you might not want to copy that, folks. You might not want a grip that is really strong with a right hand under the club or left hand in 3 or 4 knuckles if you can't outrace the face. You might want to go more neutral, 2 knuckle grip. Right hand more on top. That fits. You can always play with it, right? Okay, so super flexy. I call this scooping the ice cream out of the bottom of the barrel, something I'm very familiar with. Leave me alone now. Here we go. There's the flex wrist. Don't ask me how I hit that ball not left of the world. I don't know how I did it. Okay? Now this one here will be the open face extended grip. If I can recover from this one, folks, that means I'm a genius at getting the golf club around. Okay, here we go. Oh my God. I almost did it. I almost got it back. I only lost, what, 15 yards on that. So, I hate to tell you this. What I don't know is how I hit that stupid ball. That part drives me as coach absolutely insane, that I cannot explain to you how I have managed to learn how to hit the ball then the turf first. I don't even give it a thought. Now, remember, you don't hit the ball. You move the club. So getting the club to hit the ground in the right spot is very important until you master the skill. I might have hit that last one with my eyes closed. I don't know. I'm just real good at getting the club on the ground in the right spot. You'll get there. But if you set your wrist wrong and get the club face out of whack, you may make it really difficult. So I hope that helps you understand that. Wrist flexion, this way, extension, well, they can work. Okay, Rory has a little more extension in his wrist. He goes like this in the transition, no? Dustin Johnson's got it like this. Colin Morcow's like this. Okay? If you rotate real well, flexed is good. There is a little, if you will, disease going on where everybody's learning to flex their wrist. Folks, that is not at all for every person. I can't flex my wrist. I can't. I can go flat. If I flex it, I will start hitting hooks because I just don't turn fast enough. I just don't. I'm 55, right? So I can play with it nice and flat. I could probably play with it a little bit extended and keep the ball from going left. If I get it into this extension, I am dead. It's just a flare right every time. So I am aware of how I'm moving that wrist set. I pay attention mostly to the club going up and down and the weight of the club head going clunk. I can feel that turn over this way or this way, and I'm super aware of it throughout the golf swing, which I think is a great thing for all golfers. Right? I could go back and flex it really close and then open it on the way through. Oh my God, how did I just do that? And hit that stupid thing almost straight. That is just goofiness. But I'm super aware of the club and the grip in my hands. I'm super aware of that whenever I touch a golf club. All right, get after it. You got some work to do. Now you know how to set your wrists. Thanks a lot.